First thing you need, if you haven't downloaded it already, is something called Node.js. So just search for Node.js download, and then find this first one, nodejs.org, and then download the right version for your computer just by clicking Mac OS installer right here and downloading it to your computer, because this allows you to install Claude Code directly with a command. So just click the Mac installer and download it directly to your computer and install it just like that. Now you want to install what's called a code editor. And a code editor is basically a place where your Claude Code can live, and also where you can see and you can edit code. The best code editor to use, in my opinion, is Visual Studio Code. So you can just search for Visual Studio Code download. That's going to take you to this page right here, and then download it for your computer. When you have it downloaded, then you can open Visual Studio Code, and it's going to take you to this page right here, where we can open a project. Go to your desktop or wherever you want to place a project, create a new folder, and call this something, just to learn it. We'll call it Starter. Then you can go back into Visual Studio Code, you can click Open, then you can open the folder Starter that we just created. And click Yes, I trust the authors. There we go. I can click on this little X right here to close the welcome page. And now we have a code editor. And like I explained before, a code editor is basically just a place where you can manage and edit code. And it's a really good idea to run Claude Code from inside of a code editor, because that makes it easier to see what Claude Code actually does. The next thing we want to do is that we want to open the terminal, and on Mac you can go up in the top, click Terminal and click New Terminal, just like this. If you are on Windows, then you can find the Visual Studio Code terminal command. If you click Ctrl-Shift-Alt and then this right here, then it also opens the terminal. When you have the terminal open, then go back to your browser and search for Claude Code install. And then click on this quick start guide right here. When you scroll down, you're going to find the installation link. Just use the one that's right for your computer. So I'm going to copy the Mac one. And I'm going to insert this into my terminal and then hit enter. What this will do is that this will download Claude Code to our computer. You can see it says setting up Claude Code installed successfully, installation complete. Now, in your terminal, you can write exactly like this, clear. What this does is that this clears the terminal, and then hit enter. After you've installed it, you can just write Claude, and this is going to open the Claude onboarding. We can choose what kind of mode we want. I definitely want to choose dark mode. And the way you move around is that you use the arrow keys up and down, and then when you want to choose the option, then you just hit enter. Now you have 3 options for how you want to pay for Claude Code. If you head over to Claude.ai, if you don't have it already, then set up an account and you go inside of View All Plans. You can see the plans that Claude Code have. Right now I am on the Max plan because I'm using Claude Code a lot. The best place to start for you is probably with the Pro plan. It's $20 a month. And you can see this allows you to have Claude Code as well. You'll probably run into some limit issues if you're using Claude Code a lot, but start on the Pro plan and then later you can decide if you want to upgrade. You can also use the Anthropic API key directly, but this will cost you a lot more than just getting a subscription. Inside of Claude.ai, choose the plan that you want and go through that flow of setting up your account with your subscription. After you've done that, you can go back inside of Claude. You can choose Claude account with subscription, hit enter, and this is going to open it up in your browser where you can click authorize and authorize your account. When you go back into Claude, you can see it says login successful. You can hit enter and then hit enter again, and then click yes, use recommended settings, hit enter, and there we go. Now we have Claude Code successfully installed on our computer. This right window on the right here also says build with AI agent, but that's the native AI agent inside of Visual Studio Code. We don't need that, so I'm just going to close that down. We want to use Claude Code. The way that you navigate around is that you use slash commands. So if I write slash and then click help, for example, I can see all of the commands that I can use. I can use the arrow keys to go from general to commands, and I can see all of the commands that I can use. And there's a lot of commands inside of Claude Code. If I want to get out of that view, I can just click escape like I just did, and that takes us back to the main page. If I write slash model, that's one of the commands, I can set the model that Claude Code is using. You can see right now it's on default and it's using Opus 4.6. If I wanted to, I can also choose Sonnet, which is a lighter model, it's cheaper, or I can use Haiku, which is the fastest but also a not as smart model as Opus. So let's use Opus. What we can also do if I use the arrow keys is down at the bottom, you can see it says medium effort. So I can choose if I want low effort, medium effort, or high effort. And what this does is that this basically determines for how long Claude is thinking. For now, we're going to set it to medium effort like it was by default and hit enter. If we at any time, you can see now we see some commands. If you want to have a fresh workspace, then you can just write /clear. And this basically just clears the entire workspace and starts a new session. The way Claude Code works, just like you would start a new conversation inside of ChatGPT, is that I can write, "Hi, can you hear me?" And every time I do this, it starts a new session. You can see it says, "Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?" I can start as many sessions that I want inside of Claude Code that can work in the same time. The way I do that is that I can click this little plus right here. And now you can see it starts a new terminal right below the current one that we have. I can then write Claude once again, and now it's starting a new session. "Do you know my name?" And you can see it knows my name. And now we have two different conversations. If I want it in one view, I can do what's called splitting the terminal. And I do that by clicking this little icon right here. And I basically do the same as we just did. It's just in the same view. So I can write Claude again. Then I can write hi, and now you can see we have 3 different Claude sessions running at once. That's one of the ways that you can be very, very productive with Claude Code. You can run a lot of sessions at once, doing different things to really boost your productivity. If I wanted to stop a session, I can just click on this little trash icon right here, and this closes the terminal. So let me write clear. This basically resets both sessions. If I write resume now, I can see the previous conversations that I had. You can see, "Do you know my name? Hi, can you hear me?" And if I wanted to go back to one of those sessions, I can just hit enter, and now we're back to the session. Let me delete this so we only have one to give you a better overview. Write clear, and now we have a clear conversation.